Hello, this is the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Venice at 10 on NTA News 24. We're reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa and Wahab with the news. The headlines. Federal government launches youth empowerment scheme geared towards sustenance of Nigeria's economy. COVID-19 vaccination, 35 states and the FCT commence phase 2. Nigerian Air Force inducts the US-made Super Tucano A-29 into its order of battle. Plus, JAMB cancels a unified cut-off mark for candidates seeking admission. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news. We're starting from the political scene as President Muhammad Buhari has formally thrown his weight behind Senator Andy Uba, candidate of the Governing All Progressives Congress, APC, for the November 6 Anambra governorship election, urging the people to rally around him in the greater interest of the state. This was when he granted audience to the APC candidate at the State House. State House correspondent Musa reports.
APC candidate for the forthcoming Anambra governorship election, Senator Andy Uba, formally received the governing party's flag from President Muhammadu Buhari. Senator Andy Uba was accompanied to the State House by the chairman, APC caretaker, and extraordinary convention planning committee, and governor of Abia State, Malabuni, and members of the Presidential Campaign Council for the Anambra governorship election, led by the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma. President Muhammadu Buhari described as gladdening the emergence of Senator Andy Uba as the APC flag bearer for the election and promised him necessary support within the limits of the law.
I'm particularly happy today because I know how steadfast Andy has been, and I formally welcome you with great pleasure for winning the candidature, to participate as a gubernatorial candidate of your state. I certainly wish you the best of luck, and I will very closely continue to follow you. I'm anxious for your success.
Both the chairman of the APC caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee and that of the Presidential Campaign Council expressed absolute confidence in the ability of the governing party to win the Anambra governorship election.
Your Excellency, Anambra used to be our weakest link, but it may interest you to note that since after concluding our primaries, we've been receiving new entrants into the party. Anambra is ripe for us to win because we are doing our best to ensure that all the leaders are working together to ensure that APC succeeds at the end of the day.
Mr. President, we have a good product. We've done our homework very well. We've converted so far majority of the political class in Anambra State into believing our story. In fact, most people that joined us today joined us because they believe in your integrity and they believe that working with you, Nigeria will be better. Your name has opened many doors for us. By the grace of God, we will come out very successful, and they will not betray the confidence reposed on us by the party.
Speaking to newsmen shortly after, the APC candidate, Senator Andy Uba, described the presidential endorsement of his candidacy as a fulfilling moral booster and indeed reassuring.
I was surprised at the endorsement of Mr. President. What he said to me today came from his heart. Everybody was shocked at what he said. He said, I've been looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to working with you, and I wish you well. I'll be following you so that at the end, Anambra will be APC state. I was shocked at that.
The Anambra governorship election comes up on Saturday, November 6, 2021. From the State House, Musa, NTA News.
And still on Anambra State politics, 6 members of the Anambra State House of Assembly on the platform of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abuja, have defected to the All Progressives Congress APC. Chairman, APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee and Abia State Governor YemiOsinbajo received the lawmakers in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Guanara reports.
The lawmakers were immediately presented with the APC flag at the end of a strategic meeting held behind closed doors. Chairman, APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Governor YemiOsinbajo, restated the party's determination to win the Anambra governorship election, hence the zeal in engaging critical stakeholders in Anambra State.
As it is said, the season that promised good harvest can be known from its winter. So by mere looking at what is happening, especially now that the state assembly members have started joining, you know, the grassroots is moving. Anambra is moving into APC.
And the Southeast people have woken up and they were committed to making sure that our people will join the national politics and be part and parcel of the project Nigeria.
We just have to come out and mass support the party in the center. We've got to link ourselves to the national grid.
We're not just representing the grassroots, we are the root of the grass.
Because when you nourish the roots, the grass is taken care of. The election is going to be very smooth, free, and fair.
The brief ceremony held at Imo State Governor's Lodge was attended by top members of the party, including governors of Lagos, Osun, Kogi, and Imo States. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Guanara, NTA News.
Away from politics, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed Nigeria's former appreciation to the outgoing Tunisian ambassador to Nigeria, Jalil Trabelsi, for what he calls the deep love shown for the country during his tour of duty. This was when the envoy paid him a farewell visit in Abuja. State House correspondent Musa has the reports.
Before his tour of duty as Tunisian ambassador to Nigeria lasting 5 years, Ambassador Jalil Trabelsi worked in the country as an officer for 5 years. President Muhammadu Buhari thanked the envoy for his genuine love for Nigeria and Nigerians. He assured him that he can count on Nigeria's goodwill for himself, his family, and indeed his country. As the president puts it during the closed-door engagement, "You have identified with us so much, and I wish you a successful tour wherever you are posted to next." The outgoing ambassador had told the president that he insisted on waiting till he had an audience with him before leaving so that he could personally express gratitude to a man he admired and to a people he loved. He explained that he has enjoyed every bit of the 10-year period he spent in Nigeria. The envoy said Nigeria and Tunisia have excellent relations dating back in history. The beneficial relations, he said, has been further strengthened in the past 5 years, during which many agreements were signed. While expressing gratitude for the support extended to him, Ambassador Jalil Trabelsi maintains that Tunisia will always support and promote Nigeria. From the State House, Musa, NTA News.
Another youth empowerment scheme called Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program has been launched. The new program, launched by President Muhammadu Buhari, is aimed at providing a critical pathway for young Nigerians to gain relevant skills and work experience in top-tier organizations, as well as build the right networks so as sustaining the upward trajectory of Nigeria's economy. Again, State House correspondent Musa has the reports.
Under the Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program, 20,000 talented young Nigerian graduates will be provided work placement opportunities in private and public sector organizations across Nigeria. The jobs, to last for 12 months, will be fully paid towards improving employability and helping beneficiaries prepare for their future careers and work environments.
I truly believe it is a beneficial program that will provide the candidates with the right opportunities to develop their careers and increase the talent pool of the nation.
President Muhammad Buhari, who is still basking in the euphoria of the 5% Nigeria's GDP growth, the highest in 6 years, believes that building the right skills and experiences in critical economic sectors, which the Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program seeks to achieve, will go a long way towards sustaining the nation's economic growth.
The program will build on other efforts of the government to support young Nigerians, such as the 75 billion youth fund, which was created to support young Nigerians in business or with business ideas. The Nigerian Jubilee Fellow Program, being a fully paid post-NYSC work placement program for Nigerians, will provide an opportunity for mentors who are already engaged in various industries and have gained relevant experience and build capacity over the years to provide mentorship and support for the young Nigerians that will be on the program.
The program, he said, could not have come at a better time than now, when global economies have been battered by the COVID-19 pandemic, with loss of jobs and opportunities being one of its significant impacts.
We believe that as this program creates new opportunities for 20,000 recent graduates annually, the beneficiaries will maximize the opportunities presented to them and maximize their 12 months of engagement on the program. I will encourage all eligible Nigerians to apply for this program. I also urge private sector organizations in Nigeria to join us on this program to provide work placement opportunities, mentors, and funding to support the program.
During the launch, messages of goodwill were presented by representatives of the United Nations Development Program, European Union, and the United Nations Resident Coordinator.
Nigerian youths are known globally as pace setters, not only as they highly skilled and educated, but also as innovative entrepreneurs.
I look forward to seeing this inspiring young talent of this country leverage this program to enhance their competency and contribute to the growth and development of Nigeria.
We stand ready to assist Nigeria in keeping the young as an asset, not turning them into a liability.
The Nigeria Jubilee Fellows Program, a vital initiative by the federal government, is supported by UNDP and the European Union. From the State House, Musa, NTA News.
Away from the State House, the Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan has given birth to the Guaranteed Offtake Scheme, which is one of the tracks of the MSME Survivor Fund Scheme. Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investments, Mariam Katagum, says the scheme plans to offtake products from 100,000 MSMEs across the country. Benny Adams reports.
The program is building on the successes recorded in the implementation of the other tracks of the scheme and in line with the plan to fully rejuvenate the economy, with focus on MSMEs in the manufacturing sector. Chairman of the steering committee of the scheme, Mariam Katagum, says the federal government is rolling out the last component of the survival fund, known as the Guaranteed Offtake Scheme. It is an intervention to assist small and growing businesses affected by the pandemic.
These include face masks, hand sanitizers, liquid soaps, disinfectants and processed foods such as gari, palm oil, groundnut oil, and so on.
Under the payroll support scheme, 459,334 individuals benefited across 36 states and the FCT, out of which 43% are female-owned businesses and 3% people with special needs. While the Artisan and Transport Scheme, with an initial target of 333,000, artisans and transport beneficiaries have 293,336 successful beneficiaries across 36 states and the FCT. Others are the CAC Formalization Support Scheme, with 244,162 small and growing enterprises registered for free, in addition to the General MSMEs Grant Scheme, with 82,491 beneficiaries to date.
we have successfully disbursed 56,842,780,000 to 1,079,323 beneficiaries.
The PDO call center will be available from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. And the number for the PDO call center is 0704 00500.
The latter scheme is giving preference to products produced in sufficient volumes in each state, which has proven propensity to create jobs and have a multiplier effect on the surrounding economy. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Up ahead. Vice President YemiOsinbajo reassures Nigerian children of access to basic education. Visit more when we return. Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news. The government is trying to solve the challenges of micro, small and medium enterprises in order to transform them into engines for job creation. How this can be achieved is the focus of a Development Bank of Nigeria's annual lecture 2021 held virtually. Moplang Dakok reports.
The Development Bank of Nigeria's annual lecture series is one of the ways the bank engages stakeholders to search for solutions and influence policies aimed at addressing the constraints faced by micro, small and medium enterprises as the world tries to recover from the shocks of COVID-19 on global economy. The critical issue of access to funds still took center stage.
The Development Bank of Nigeria will continue to work towards building the capacity of small businesses to ensure that we eliminate the financing constraints faced by this critical sector.
Why is DBN interested in MSMEs, you may ask? It is simple, because big things have small beginnings. And according to the International Council for Small Businesses, formal and informal MSMEs make up over 90% of all businesses.
The panelists believe that with COVID-19, the need for technology is even more critical as Nigeria struggles with efficient power supply to boost MSMEs.
We can also look at it to enable healthcare and how we export healthcare, fitness, wellness, as well as our manufacturing and exports and service businesses.
People are all coming together, trying to see if we can find solutions for how we can create a bigger middle class and how we can support the growth of a wide range of enterprises.
The virtual economic development conversation ended with the goal of tackling issues affecting MSMEs and finding innovative ways in which the sector can adapt during periods of uncertainties. In Abuja, Moplang Dakok, NTA News.
Now to education, as the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says there will be no unified cut-off mark for candidates seeking admission into tertiary institutions for the 2021-2022 academic session. This decision was reached at the policy meeting on admission to tertiary institutions held virtually at the board's headquarters in Abuja. Olayin Kaujo reports.
This 2021 virtual policy meeting is with a twist, with heads of tertiary institutions in the country. And the decision to take here is that which will determine the fate of more than 1.4 million candidates.
For degree awarding, let us approve what they have said.
For the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, whatever minimum cutoff mark an institution accepts is okay with the board. But no institution is allowed to admit candidates below their submission.
Let's approve for all of them what they have. Since it's not going to be the last score, But everybody, before you can start admission, you must have disclosed your minimum.
For institutions that offer admission to candidates without the use of the Central Admission Processing System (CAPS), a sanction awaits them.
I have directed JAM to bring forward for appropriate sanctions the list of all institutions involved in the violation of the directive. Heads of such institutions will be held personally responsible, either in or even if they are currently out of office.
The meeting, however, agreed that admissions into public tertiary institutions must have ended by the end of January 2022, while that of private tertiary institutions will be at the end of March. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Okay, that was a development from the JAM. Now to speak further on cancellation of Unified Court of Marks for admission into tertiary institutions is Professor Musa. He is the immediate past Dean, Faculty of Education, University of Abuja. Thanks a lot for joining us, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Now, what do you have to say about this new policy? Do you have any idea what might have compelled JAM to take this decision?
Well, I think this is not a new thing. Even in the previous years, universities were requested to fix their own cut-off marks, and the cut-off marks were also varied according to courses, and that was what was used for the admission. So for JAM to say they don't have a unified cut-off mark nationally is also another step of giving the universities their autonomy. I only hope that the various senates of the universities will be up to the games to ensure that heads of universities do not contravene. These must be arrived as part of the Senate decision, as part of Senate consideration of whatever should be the cutoff mark for every program and in every faculty. And if this is adhered, then definitely it has taken another step forward in ensuring university autonomy. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Prof. Now, this seems contradicting now. JAM is allowing universities to have their individual autonomy or a decision to take on whether to admit students or not. Now, what will be the essence of JAM if universities are allowed to just carry on and admit students based on what they deem fit for admission?
Yes, you will recall that JAM was not there initially when the university education started in Nigeria. It only came as a result of the need to ensure that people do not apply in multiple universities and get multiple admission, thereby denying others chances. I think JAM is only going to be a clearinghouse, and that is what it's supposed to be, that once you are admitted in one university, JAM would be notified, and JAM would control to ensure that you are not admitted in another university. This will ensure that students who are admitted do not block other students in other universities where they are not going to be, registered.
Now, how healthy is this for Nigeria's education system? Now that we're having various cut-off marks peculiar to each of the universities, polytechnics, or colleges of education, as the case may be, do you think this will help the quality that we are aiming?
Well, and that was why I emphasized the role of the various academic boards in colleges of education, academic boards in polytechnic, and the university senates. It is the Senate that will control standard. It is the Senate that controls quality. And that is why I feel the senates must be up to their games to ensure that they ensure that candidates who applied, and of course the cutoff mark would be, fixed based on certain variables. For example, how many people applied to read that program? If you have more than enough, why would you lower the grades or the score in order to accommodate the weak ones? You must heighten it in order to ensure that only the best get into the program.
Now, as an educationist, what should be universities' major prerequisites for admission now?
Well, globally, your O-level is very important. And I can assure you, those who go abroad to read do not write any JAM. They base their admission based on their performance in O-level. And I think the O-level will still remain very important and relevant here. And like I said, well, it might question the existence or the continued practice of JAM matriculation examination. Maybe with time, JAM would only be reduced to clearinghouse, that if you are admitting based on whatever criteria, whether it is your, like we always have the post-UTME examination by the various institutions, whether that will be the criteria plus your O-level, and then JAM will be there to control that nobody gets more than one admission at a time, to ensure that people who desires to read are not blocked unnecessarily. All right, now you've used this word clearinghouse consistently now this morning. Are you suggesting the cancellation of UTME? Well, I'm not suggesting, but what has just played out shows that UTME doesn't seem to have any role again, because they said you can admit with whatever score you want, just fix. So, like somebody gave an example, if in a program nobody applied and you have somebody who scored 2% out of the 400, you have nothing to say than to admit that person. And so I would want to say that even if the UTME exam would persist, it can only be there to moderate, but it's not the final reason for admission. Professor, thank you very much for your time this morning on the news. You're welcome. Is Professor Musa, the immediate past Dean, Faculty of Education, University of Abuja. Now moving on, Vice President Professor YemiOsinbajo says no Nigerian child will be behind or denied access to basic education. This was at the National Dialogue Forum on the Girl Child in Nigeria, with the theme Towards a Girl-Friendly Nigeria, organized by the Women Arise for Change initiative in collaboration with the African Child Policy Forum, Ethiopia. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
In fact, we are going to become his second wife, and I was just 9 years old.
She may be young, but 15-years-old Victoria Solomon, at her age, has a truckload of experiences that touched her heart on what she has faced as a girl child growing up in Nigeria. With tears rolling down her eyes, she recounts some of these ordeals.
The younger sister took her.
She's not alone, as so many other girls across the African continent are victims.
A lot of them are worried, a lot of them have dropped out of school.
Vice President YemiOsinbajo declared the dialogue open, says everyone should be involved as the problems are many facing women and adolescent girls.
So it's very important that the states and local governments ensure that there are gender-responsive measures, that ensure that they implement gender-responsive measures that will transform the education systems and address the barriers that inhibit girl-child education. And all of this must be done very actively by the states.
Delving into what government is doing towards addressing these challenges, the Vice President says these government programs targeted at both women and girls will bring back hope.
And we are committed to ensuring that these initiatives happen, and to all young girls, and I want to say, to all young girls across the country, I would like to let you know that we understand the difficulties that many of you are going through. The mere fact that one is a victim does not mean that hopes are lost, or that all hope is lost. As a matter of fact, it's very important to emphasize that despite being victims, you have every opportunity to do better in life and to make a great success of yourselves.
We need to continue engaging in multi-sectoral collaboration between ministries to ensure progressive realization and immediate protection of girls. Creating a safe Nigeria for all girls where they meaningfully participate in governance.
So investment in girls does not require economic wealth of a country or economic prosperity.
Well, there is no doubt the African leaders are taking steps towards ensuring that the girl child receive better education, better life. But what participants are saying is that they need to initiate programs that will make the girl child participation an integral part of their policy making. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
and welcome to another exciting edition of Visual Impressions on NTA. I am Omar Mohammed. Impasto came into existence in the 17th century when painters such as Rembrandt, Franz Hals, and Diego Velázquez used it skillfully and minutely to work impastos to depict lines and wrinkled skins or the sparkle of elaborately crafted armor and rich jewelry. But today, a lot of artists and painters are craftily using it